Hi, I'm Amy. I'm a third year politics and modern history student, and today you'll be joining me for a very exciting and busy day.
So I started off by going on a run to Roath Park, which is about 20 to 25 minutes away from campus, and as you can see is lovely this time of the year. I then headed to my Revolutions in Comparative Context sector where we were learning about the Egyptian Revolution, and then we had a seminar on the assessment, which is a documentary and I think is quite cool. Then I headed to the main building. To my left you can see the Centre for Student Life, which is quite impressive. So yes, there's the main building. I was getting ready for a few hours of reading for my Justice, Legitimacy and International Law module for politics, which as it sounds is quite complex, but I personally love this library because it truly keeps me immersed in my work, which as a third year is something that you truly need. Fast forward to a couple of hours later, I was starting to feel a bit overwhelmed with my work, so I decided to take a breather at the park opposite the main building. Went on a quick walk just to clear my head. It gets the job done every single time. After this, I just went back to the library for a couple of hours and then headed home.
Today was quite a busy day. I definitely do have days where I don't have as much on, and to be fair, I also have days where I have much more on. I only had a history lecture and a history seminar, but there are days where I have a mixture of politics and history lectures and seminars, and obviously those days can be quite tough, but I personally like to spend most of my day on campus anyway. I do love spending some time at the main building library or at the Arts and Social Studies library. It really does depend on the day. There is a wide range of libraries and study spaces available to us students. And also another thing I really love about those study spaces is that they are so close to green areas, which are lovely year round. They're a lovely breath of fresh air after an intense library session. But right now, when spring is starting to blossom, it truly is a huge reset to be able to go from reading like a 30-page article and taking notes to just nature, and it truly is refreshing, and it is something that I love about campus, and it's something that I love about Cardiff in general. There's so many parks. Alexandra Gardens, which is the one directly opposite the uni, I took a walk there today. There's also Butte Park, which is a big park that just kind of intersects in the middle of the city. It just sits in the middle of the city. And we've also got Roath Park, which is like where I went for a run today as well. It really does have so much to offer. If there is one thing that I wish I could go back in time and tell my September of 2022 fresher version, it would be that it is so important to come into this experience with an open mind, because in a social sense, that open-mindedness and that kind of boldness of like throwing yourself into things that you wouldn't usually do, obviously keeping yourself safe, but trying out new things with new people truly helps you find lifelong friendships, which I currently have, and I am eternally thankful to Cardiff to introducing me to the most wonderful people, because that open-mindedness truly helps you connect with people that you wouldn't have necessarily thought that you would have connected with before, and that truly nurtures you as a person. But then again, in an academic sense, I'd say come in with an open mind, because I came into Cardiff wanting to get something completely different out of my degree, and halfway into my second year I took this module called anti-colonial resistance, and I discovered that my true passion wasn't what I thought it was before. My true passion is colonial studies, and this is something that I am currently seeking opportunities to pursue in my future. I had never felt a passion as bright as that, and the open-mindedness to these new ideas and to these new topics that you might not necessarily be as interested in when you come into your degree is essential. So on the topic of lifelong friendships, I feel like it's only correct to talk about accommodation. So currently I live in a 4-person house in Cardiff, which is the student neighbourhood that the university is pretty much in. And 2 of my current housemates are people who I met within the first 2 weeks of university and are currently some of the most important people in my life. My 3rd housemate is one of my really good friends from 2nd year, and living together has been an incredible experience because we've just connected in the most unexpected ways. One of the things that I love the most about Cardiff that have made it truly feel like a home to me is how friendly the city is. People will go out of their way to make sure that you feel welcome, and it is a feeling, it's a sentiment that has truly stayed consistent from the first day that I got here until now, pretty much the end of my 3rd year, which back then, as somebody who had never been to the city before and was their first time living away from home, was something that I truly appreciated, and I'm sure that everybody does as well. Also, the thing about Cardiff is that it's a very tight-knit student community, and it is truly vibrant in the sense that you see people dressing up for their socials on a Wednesday night, which is student night, and you just see so much diversity, and it is truly something that I know I will miss, apart from bumping into my friends at the shops or just running errands during the day. It is nice to know that there is likely somebody that you're close with that lives only a few blocks down, and overall my time in Cardiff has been incredibly memorable, and I can already feel myself looking back at it incredibly fondly.